Well, this is a heavy video for me. It is a heavy video I am doing because I had puke in my mouth. Not even puke. I just felt like I needed to collapse, like I needed to cry about people, about horrors of the past. You saw the title. Before I go any deeper into this, I want to say who I am because I think a lot of people will see this for the first time and don't know who I am. I am a German. I am a history teacher. I am going to become a history teacher. I am heavily interested in politics. I am heavily interested in history, especially First World War and Second World War, about the politics, to be honest, also about tanks and stuff, because tanks and stuff is cool. I would also consider myself somewhat center-left, political, yeah. And what is most important in this regard is I despise Trump. I hate Trump. I think Trump is risking the USA to become a dictatorship. I think Trump is risking the world to become an unsafe place, or even more unsafe place than it is today, because of his own ambitions. I think Trump is risking everything we have built in the last 100 years for some stupid reasons. So all in all, I really do not like Trump, and I do not like ICE and his other goons. In the past, there is a concerning increase of people pointing fingers and calling other groups stuff that they are not. I think the most common used word is fascist. Fascism is a really broad term, but calling someone who is kinda right a fascist is wrong. Even though fascist is a really broad term, they have a certain ideology. A lot of people who call others fascists are calling them that because it's a word that has impact or had impact. It doesn't anymore because a lot of people are being called fascists. Then there is fascist ideologies. There's Mussolini's fascism, which is something different than Nazism, which is something different than name any other fascist ideology. A lot of these, let's call it buzzwords, are getting thrown around. Yeah, be it Nazi, be it fascist. People are getting called Nazis even though they're not Nazis. A Nazi is a guy who wants to eradicate Jews, who wants to kill all gays, who wants to basically clean the world of everyone except the Aryas. That's basically Nazism. If you have a right-wing guy who says, yes, I am kind of nationalistic, I'm proud of my nation, I really want to keep other people out of my nation, that is not a Nazi. A Nazi is a person who would not say, I'm keeping them out of my nation, I am going into the nation and murder them. That's a Nazi. I watch this trend of people throwing these words around, watching this for somewhat longer time, okay? And I am not happy with it, for the reasons that I think calling someone a Nazi basically normalizes the shit the Nazis did. Because if you call someone a Nazi who actually wasn't as bad, it makes the Nazis seem not as bad. If you call someone a Nazi who's basically just saying, okay, please keep the other people out, then it kinda gives the idea of Nazis were also people who just wanted to keep other, let's call it races, I don't know, or like other humans, other minorities, other people out of the nation. This is really dangerous, in my opinion, and it makes Nazis seem harmless. I hope you see this, Ref Boss. I don't know if you do, but I saw your video. I don't think ICE is the Gestapo today. You're a guy who claims to know German history. And if you truly do, I hope you feel ashamed about this video. In this video, you basically say there are people calling ICE-Gestapo. That's not true, because Gestapo was a somewhat secret organization. ICE isn't secret. They are more like the SA. They're basically the SA. That's what you say. You do not give any reasons why they are like the SA, except they are openly violent. They are not like hidden violent like the Gestapo was. While saying this, you forgot to explain one really important thing. Where is ICE going around committing war crimes on a regular basis? Where is ICE going around killing minorities in a horrific way? Where is ICE going around killing people or punishing people because they listened to the wrong music, because they looked wrong, because they dared to step out of line? Where is this happening? You claim to know German history. I have not seen any other videos of you. From this one video, I would say you do not know German history. Once again, you are a guy who uses a buzzword, Gestapo. You know that this buzzword is meant to be somewhat secretive, and so you say, no, it's not a secretive buzzword. It's the openly buzzword, the SA. Maybe I understood you wrong. Maybe you forgot to explain, even though if you really forgot to explain, I would be worried that you don't know how bad the Nazis were. You are right now comparing Trump to one of the most horrific organizations that ever existed in human history, in recorded human history. Where? How? Please explain to me. I really want to give you the benefit of the doubt. Where the hell is Trump or ICE in any way, shape, or form as bad as one of the most horrific terror regimes of all time. Where are they killing millions of people? Where are they abducting millions of people? I can't even find the words. I am so sorry for all the victims of the Nazi regime that they need to see a guy like you. Maybe you did it by mistake, to be honest. Okay, that's something I want to give you this point. To see a guy like you go, yes, they are like SA. They maybe have the potential to become like the SA, but currently they are not. Trump is not like Hitler was. Trump is also not like Goebbels was, or whoever you want to pick here. Maybe you can argue that there's a risk that he will become like this because ICE is stepping over the line. But stepping over the line is something else than sniffing the line like coke and then murdering 200 million people. They killed 6,250,000 Jews. Not counting like the gays, the gypsies, war criminals, Bolsheviks, political other thinkers. Please tell me, where is Trump doing this? Where is ICE helping Trump in committing such crimes against humanity? Tell me, once again, I think I repeat myself, but I want to make sure that you understand this. Saying the SA is the same as ICE, or really similar to ICE, it's worse than Gestapo is what you said in your video, what you implied in the title, is something completely different than saying, yeah, they have tendencies that are close to the SA or similar to the SA. There is a risk that they will become the SA. Then you give a few arguments, point at a few historical facts and what the ICE is doing, and it's all right. But that's not what you did. You pointed at like 3 things ICE and the SA did the same, and then you said they are the same.